Hello and welcome to Model Kit Stuff and update 3 of our small scale car for a small month build. Okay, let's take you through the videos and photographs that get us to this point, and then I'll take you through what's next and the products we've used so far.
So rather than spending time filling and sanding back this gap from this part here, which is an additional part, you can see, put it underneath there, it's an additional part. So rather than spending time filling that gap, I've decided to put carpet down. Now I don't know whether originally it had carpet. I think it did. I've seen one or two photos with carpet down, but it's hard to know whether that's more modern additions. But mine's going to have carpet, and it'll just cover that up. So I'm using some washi tape, but actually you can get it in sheets, and it has a bit of a texture, which in my mind is going to look a bit more like carpet. It's not necessarily to scale, but it looks more authentic than flat plastic. And I get it from these people here. They do all sorts of masking tapes and that sort of stuff, so worth checking out. So all we're doing is laying it down and cutting around the edges to make it fit. So we'll do one that loops over, one in the driver's footwell, and then another two at the back here. So I now have the main part of my roof lining in. So it's some strips of white plastic rod with that masking sheet cut to size over the top, and simply pressing it down at the halfway point between each one of the rods, and that gives me that that look that I think looks okay. We're just going to do the back now, around the back window, and then we're ready to paint that in. As always with cars, there's very few pictures of the roof lining. I have managed to find one which gives me a good view of half of the back window. So yeah, nearly there, but that's I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks quite good, and when we've got some paint on it, should look great.
You can stop holding your breath now. Okay, so as far as the main car is concerned, we have pretty much got it built up, less the radiator and bonnet, doors, spare wheel and wheels. There's one or two other bits to go on. We'll take you through that in a minute. So as you saw in the videos, we have done something to put a roof in there, and I'm really happy with that. So the roof, we used this orange brown mixed with a bit of white to get a colour that contrasted nicely with the leather interior that we've got there. So you can see we've got the two little points that the tie downs for this suitcase holding rack, they've been attached, so they want painting in. I'm gonna paint them red. I think they really should be the same colour as the rack, and the rack won't be red, but I'm gonna paint them red. We've got the indicator flappers on. They need painting up in the body colour that they're attached to. And we've got all those tools in and stuff, and inside it looks suitably like a car, which is what we're after. So when we come to the doors, we've got the door cards and the glazing now all attached, and the handles attached for the inside. Those that are still on the bits of sprue, they're the external handles, and I'll put those on after the doors are in. Still got some touch up to do on the doors to get them where they need to be. The bonnet sides are almost ready to go. We've got a little bit of photo etch to go on, so there's some you can just see there's some clips that I've already bent up, so they need to be painted on the inside before they get glued on, and it depends on how we're having the bonnet open or closed. Now ultimately this is going to end up on a street diorama parked in a street as part of a larger build. So I am going to have the bonnet down. We've built the bonnet, all the engine and stuff up for the purposes of this build, but it will get buttoned up in the end. You can see we've got the wheels painted. We've just got to do the tyre valves, and we've used the bare metal foil over the hubcaps, and they've come out really well. I was pleased with those. I haven't been able to be so successful with the grille, and we have a photo etch centre grille that goes in a plastic surround. I tried twice to get the foil around the plastic surround, but it just wasn't having it. But I'm really quite happy with that. There's a little bit of touch up to do on the side, so I airbrushed that earlier today. So what we've done with the grille and these parts here, which are the tail lights and the rear view mirror, the wing mirror, they've been painted in a gloss black primer, this one here, and then we've used Vallejo's metal colour chrome for that, and it sprays okay. It's not the best spray paint in the world. I actually find it brushes a lot better, and you can see, where are they? There we go. All these handles here were brush painted with the same chrome paint. We've got decals to put on still. The tyres have been painted, but are now waiting weathering. Now interestingly, the white wall is just primer, so 2 coats of primer brush painted on, and that's done the trick. You get quite a nice satin finish. Headlamps are waiting another spray, and then what we're going to do with those is we're going to put a little strip of bare metal around the edge as like a chrome ring where the glazing is. I think that'll look quite effective. We've got the rear number plate and some tail light display thing there that needs painting in. Those are the fasteners for the bonnet. And we've got the bonnet tops painted up, ready to go. We've got the bracing for the radiator against the firewall there, which needs to be painted in black. And then we've got the radiator there, which has been primed but hasn't been painted. The two photo etch parts are the straps for this, so they need to be painted in some form of leather brown. I want it to be different to the inside of the car, so not worked out what that's going to be yet. And then wrapped around this, because this is designed to be open, and as you saw, what we've done is we've glued the parts together so it's closed, and then I've had to modify the etch. So let me show you in the instructions what we've done there. So you can see in the instructions that the photo etch is designed to go from that point to that point, which effectively is set in place because this is designed to be open with the suitcases on, and that's the photo etch strapping. But I'm not keen on the suitcases. They haven't gone together particularly well, and I think someone having two identical suitcases is not impossible but unlikely. So my thought process is to have them closed on the back there. It'll add some interest to the rear. And I would imagine that the strapping for holding the suitcases down also doubles up and adjusts and tightens up to stop this flapping about when it's closed up. So this strip here will be like a scissor joint, scissor hinge. So what we've done is we've cut it just at the middle point, just before the little dimple in the middle. Glued one strip on and then glued the other strip on with the two dimples over the top, so that it looks like a join. So you can see now how that looks. So I think that looks okay. I think that looks fairly cool. So that's where we are. So we've used those two paints on the interior. That is my main body colours. Primers, we've used white as discussed. We've used black where we've done priming, and we're not doing metal. And then we've used gloss black on anything that's metal. I also used that gloss 21 paint on some of the interior, so the steering wheel column, the steering wheel itself is in that gloss black. Then the matte 62 is the leather for the interior, and then we've already mentioned the chrome. Now I've also used, during this part of the build, these two paint Posca pens. So the silver one has been used to add the detail on the running board and some detail on the dashboard, the little handles on the dashboard and the dial rings. And then the black one I actually used to do the rubber seal around the windows. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. And then finally we've used this washi tape, which is a sheet, and we've used that for the carpets in the car. And we also used it for doing the roof lining. So yeah, like I say, I'm really happy with the roof lining. I think the carpet looks authentic. Yeah. So I'm happy. The only thing I'm not happy about, there's two things I'm not happy about. I've not managed to get a great body finish, but I'm not really a car builder. Not very often I build a car, and I rubbed it down a couple of times and resprayed it, so whether my pressure was wrong or something, I don't know, or whether it was just this paint, but I've not quite got a smooth finish, but it's good enough for me. But the other thing that's really bothered me is that in the back window. I've got a small amount of fogging, and I'm not sure why, because I used this ultra glue that is supposed to dry clear. There you go, for photo etch and clear parts. And yet I've got fogging. Now I don't know whether maybe there was something else on the applicator that I wasn't aware of, but something has caused some fogging there which has annoyed me no end, but there you go. So in the next video we will do final construction and weathering. I want this car to look a little bit used, so we're going to have dirty tyres, we're going to dirty the underneath. Oh, that's the other thing that I've done. I have weathered the exhaust. So we used the same process that we did with the engine, using the weathering powders and some matte varnish, and that's just made that look like it's starting to rust through. So we're going to weather the underneath and bring that up into the wheelbase, the wheels, a light dust, and then a light dusting in various other places. We've got the inside of the engine bay to key into the engine. So as I'm talking, feels like I've got much more to do than it actually looks, but I'm fairly confident we'll get this over the line now. The other thing I've not mentioned is these two tiny little parts here, and we're talking really, really tiny. That's the windscreen wipers, and they go into a couple of little blocks that you can just about see there, which go into the little notches above the windscreen there. So we've got those to do as well. Okay, there you go. Thanks for looking in, everyone. Everyone enjoy their small scale builds. I'm enjoying watching them, and we will see you real soon with the final build sequences, the weathering, and final reveal.